Some parts of the country rely more on public transportation to get around.
Well, for most of us in the Midwest, it's all about cars. And because we rely on them heavily, when something goes wrong, it's a real stressor.
And we have 3 viewers that sent in questions for Amanda Fink-Shaeffer from Certified Transmission.
Hello.
Good to see you,
Hi.
Amanda. You made it in this morning, right?
I did. It took me a little while.
You live in a, not a super rural
We're
area,
Calhoun.
but
I got county roads, so I was going like 15 miles an hour. I'm like, I am not going off this road.
we're glad you made it in safely.
Yeah.
All our transmissions were working these past couple days, that's for sure. So.
Oh
Good.
gosh, well, and I bet you'll be
snow.
getting some calls as folks get stuck in banks and things. And your dad has advised us in the past about what not to do because we have the urge to rock and floor it. And
Yes.
Switch
Get a
gears.
shovel, wait for someone, get towed out. Sitting and waiting and paying for a tow or waiting for someone, it's going to save you a lot more money than having to come see us. So.
When they get stuck, they put it in reverse and gas
drive
it,
and they slam it into gear. And
when
you're stuck and your engine is at 4,000 RPMs and you're not going anywhere, that like heats up your transmission so hot. And when you're doing it for an hour trying to get out, it can be okay to do it for like a little bit if you're not that bad stuck. But I mean, if you're really stuck, just wave the white flag and call someone.
Right.
You know,
Good tip. I'm
Save
glad
the
we
money.
talked about that today.
Save the money.
Yep.
There's a lot of people stuck in those drifts this morning. Jason is up first with, this is kind of a general question. Now that gas is cheaper, I've been thinking about using higher grade formulas, even though my car doesn't require it. Is there a benefit to that, even if I just use it for a month or two?
You know, I mean, using better quality stuff, yes, there probably is a little bit of a benefit to it. Probably not something that you're really going to even be able to tell a difference, maybe though. If it was 90 degrees in the summer and you're making a trip across country and you use the premium, yes, your gas mileage would probably go up a little bit and stuff like that on like a long distance road and stuff, or a road trip. But I mean, for just a month or two in town, probably not making that big of a difference.
I know that Peter's a big advocate for using the premium gas because he says you get more miles per gallon out of it.
Yes.
And it burns.
It's
it just burns
easier
better,
on your fuel system and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're going to use it, then I would use it like all the time.
Long
If you're just
term.
doing it for a month or two, probably not. But I mean, it's a good idea if you're going on a long road trip to probably use
Or
it.
maybe even every other tank.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit does help. So.
Kathy posted on our Facebook page. This question was a little longer. I hope you got the full version. I don't know.
I think I did like in my
some
email on
for
the way here.
Here's our condensed version. I just installed a new master cylinder and slave cylinder to my 98 Honda Prelude, and I've tried everything to bleed the clutch, but no matter what I do, the pedal doesn't build pressure and the fork doesn't move at all. Any ideas on what could be wrong?
Honestly, and it sounds like they know what they're talking
Yeah,
about,
there's
but
a lot of terms in there.
There's probably still air in the line, and to most people that probably means nothing. Like, what do you mean? But with the clutch system, you have to bleed it to make sure that there's no air still in the line, and it takes 2 people to do, and sometimes they can be really tough to do. So, I mean, you might have to try it a couple different times. That being said, also, I mean, we are huge advocates of using dealer parts. I mean, they're more expensive and stuff, but usually they're more expensive because they're much better quality. So maybe also depending on possibly where she got her parts from, there's nothing wrong with O'Reilly's and Napa and stuff like that for certain things, but there are some items that we use like dealer only because they're just a much better quality. So, I mean, at the very least, she could always give one of our shops a call, $39.95 to check out the car, and we could at least lead them in the proper direction as to what we think it might be from looking at it.
Because you don't want to throw money at something.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah,
it
not
sounds like
knowing.
she kind of knows what she's talking. She's bleeding the clutch. I've never heard that term before. Bleed the clutch.
I'm looking at Amanda like, I hope you know what this means because I am out.
I'm not a gearhead. I don't know
Usually
these things.
bleeding is not something you want, is a good thing, but
Right.
yes, you need to bleed the clutch.
Gotta bleed the clutch. All right, our final question. This comes from Mandy. I have a 1997 Chrysler Sebring, and when I turn on my headlights, the interior lights go dim. Is this a fuse problem?
Oh, you know, it's probably more like an alternator is what I would think. And honestly, you can get, because, you know, we all know when our battery is dead, right? But I mean, your alternator can be like going bad and you're not quite sure what the heck's going on and stuff. The O'Reilly's and Napa's and auto stores, I think they do tests. I'm not sure if they charge for that. We can do them at our store. It's called an electrical system analysis. So then we can hook it up and we can see if your how good your battery is, how good your alternator is. Because a lot of people don't know, but actually your battery and alternator have to be working properly for your transmission to work properly. So because if your transmission's not getting enough power, then it's not going to be operating how it's supposed to. So they kind of go hand in hand sometimes, but hopefully it's just the alternator. The other thing with that is to get, you know, if she does need to replace either the battery or alternator, to use a good quality part.
Is there a way to tell if it's the alternator or the battery as it's happening? Like without having, like plugging in and getting some kind of data that tells you so. There's not some sort of sign as a driver when you try to turn on the vehicle that you kind of know that it's one or the other.
I don't know. Like some of the guys, it's much better to do with a test. There's nothing that's like 100% yes or no usually. It just kind of depends. But I mean, your battery could just go bad and then people think it's an alternator or vice versa. A lot of people don't even know they go bad.
Mary. Because she drove her husband's car to work because of the roads.
This Mary, yeah. A friend, right?
I'm like, I'm going to be going home this afternoon and wondering if that sucker starts. I don't know if it's the battery.
Are you having issues with it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just been.
You guys are both having car problems.
It's been ornery. It won't. It
does
doesn't
it die
want
at a
to
stoplight or anything like that?
Not yet.
No?
No, but I just feel like in this weather, I don't want to be stuck and that sucker not starting.
You're supposed to listen to our advice and get that stuff checked.
Get that checked out. You can bring in a certified transmission too.
I'll be driving by your location. One of your locations on my way home. Maybe I can get it checked then.
5 area locations, certifiedtransmission.com.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank
and
you,
listen,
Amanda.
your questions could be featured during our next visit with Amanda or Peter or Jody, the crew from Certified Transmission. A few ways to get those questions to us. Email talkback@omahamorningblend.com. Visit our website or click on the the button on our Facebook page. You're not going to find it there. It's on our website. Wall is Facebook.
Gotcha.
Get all that?
Got it.
Get all that?
Still ahead, special Valentine's deliveries. Who's making them is the twist.
First, new developments in the fight against ovarian cancer. A doctor will explain a treatment breakthrough.